Cops don't like me, so I don't like cops.
Badges don't grant extra rights. This is CopBlock Radio on the FPRN Radio Network. Here are your hosts, Eric, Adam, and Scott.
Welcome, everybody, to the Copblock Radio Show for October 2nd, 2013. I'm your host, Eric, and with me tonight, as always, I have Adam and Scott. How are you guys doing?
Better than last week.
Well, I guess it's not like always, because it hasn't been for the past 5 weeks. We haven't all been together.
Some of us have been pretty religious here. Also, sorry about last week.
That's all right. It's understandable. He had a legit reason.
Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate it, guys. That was awesome. I'm really glad that, it's a really good format to have three of us here so we can help each other out.
Yeah, no, we totally would have been screwed the past 4 weeks if there was only two of us. Then one of us would be going solo. So that's no fun.
Then we'd just be Rantanello.
Last week I talked about that I was going into arraignment for my failure to obey, in other words, contempt of cop, though I was just simply trying to ascertain the facts around my current detainment at the time. So he didn't like that very much and arrested me. So anyways, I was at arraignment today, and this is a pretty small town. There's only 25,000 people, and they only do arraignments once a month for like an entire week, or maybe it's the first 2 weeks of the month. So they're arraigning everybody from September these past 2 weeks. And today there were 75 people there, and of those 75, 27 of them were unlawful possession of alcohol. So it was pretty much people under the age of 21 who were caught with alcohol. And the sad thing was that all 27 of them just pled guilty straight up, didn't take it to trial, and they had to pay a fine of $375 each. So I guess we were out cop blocking on Friday night and talked to one of the local residents, and he brought up, he didn't like what we were doing at the time, but then we started talking to him, and we're like, well, we're against the policing for profit, victimless crimes and whatnot, and he was complaining that the college kids like broke his fence once. He's like, well, that we're okay with people who break other people's things getting punished somehow. We're not, crazy, that clearly has a victim, but in all these cases there was clearly no victim except now the person who got charged and fined. So it was pretty sad.
It seems legit.
Yeah, when I was there the entire time, everybody who, besides me, who pled not guilty had a lawyer. I was the only person who didn't have a lawyer who pled not guilty. Everybody else who didn't have a lawyer, they all pled guilty straight up and just took the fine or whatever punishment they were going to get instead of making the state actually work for the conviction instead of just handing it on a silver platter.
How many people was it that pled not guilty? Including yourself?
Maybe 10.
Out of 30?
75.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, still, even, 10 people, it's a good start.
Well, those 10 people were I guess you could say the higher echelon of the totem pole, I guess you could say. They, were middle class or above. Everybody who was kind of low on the cash took the straight up fine, which they couldn't afford in the first place.
Right.
It was kind of weird that the people who would be most damaged by it just went ahead and took a guilty plea instead of taking it to trial. So, anyways, I have and they're scheduling way out. My trial isn't until January 30th.
Holy crap, that long?
Yeah, it's not very speedy. Well, you got to think, Pete had a
trial.
Yeah, Pete had some traffic ticket or something that was like 7 months after he got it.
They're just hoping you'd forget about it by
then. He was doing
then.
overnight winter parking in July. But
that's what it is. They're just hoping you forget so they get their fines.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's $10,000 just for the underage possession when they clearly harm nobody at all. And we've seen it every Friday night when we've been out cop blocking, where this one bike cop, Matt Griffin, he goes around on his bike up and down all the roads that have college students on them, and he's just busting people left and right for open container, underage possession. But yeah, it's horrible. And he's the guy who's also the lacrosse coach at that particular college. And for some reason, the local PD doesn't think that's a conflict of interest. Though we've now brought it up to the NCAA. So that will be interesting.
How'd that go?
When my cop blocking partner called, they were surprised that he was there because they're like, we don't allow members of law enforcement to also be coaches, so we'll be looking into it.
Sweet.
So if you can't get them through the governmental bureaucrats, you can probably get them through the private organization bureaucrats.
Hey, if you can't bend them over, let somebody else do it for you.
Exactly. So that'll be interesting to see what comes of that. And they were really surprised because they had specifically, denied people from being eligible to coach because they were members of law enforcement and they were unaware of this particular individual. So we will see how it goes from there. But we'll be out on Friday night again, like usual.
Kicking ass, taking names and pictures.
Yeah, this guy was making girls cry last week. It was sad.
That's because he has a complex.
That's pretty much what he does. Is he likes making girls cry. That's he gets off on. I mean, that's really what he does all night.
I think they get off on it, man. I really do. Like, I don't understand it. It boggles my mind. Like black holes, you'll never understand it. So, one thing that we do here, going back to the trial, to the arraignment stuff, I guess not me specifically, but the activists here, on each arraignment day, they either go inside the court where everybody's waiting to enter the court, or stand outside as everybody's walking in, and they pass out "Don't Take a Plea" deal flyers, or the little brochure. You can see those over on freekeen.com, I think. And we're kind of coming to at least I came to the conclusion that it's not, at least the flyer as it is now is not as effective as you hope it was, because everybody was taking plea deals. So I think we might need to find another avenue to strike at this problem to begin with. So have you guys tried any I guess it would be they or whoever, like any speaking engagements where you kind of try to book something on campus? Because I know it's a huge college town. Have you guys gotten to, I don't want to say infiltrate, but gotten any way to reach out specifically to the college kids? I think that's the next thing we have to do. I was talking to Centurion a couple weeks ago, and bringing up that we don't have an in to the college. We haven't reached out to any of the liberty-minded groups or whatever. I'm sure there's some sort of on-campus libertarian group or something like that, you know. So I think that's going to have to be the next step and try to get that way. I think if it's not in place now, or at least it used to be, I know Ian Freeman was banned from the campus for quite a long time, if he's not still. So we'll see on that.
One thing that, I would suggest on that one is somehow figure out some way to give out free beer, and if it's free, they will come.
Yeah, but so will the cops, unfortunately.
No, I mean, do it, have a social hour at a happy hour at the bar where you have somebody who chips in, say it's, you work something out with the bartender and say, hey, we're going to give you $150 that we've raised. Can we get the first 100 beers free? Tickets for them so people can come in. And if you start to offer something, people will really be more inclined to come and spend their time.
Yeah, of course, that's always the problem with activists. We have no money.
It sucks being broke ass, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I think that's kind of the next step that we might need to take, is to branch out and take a cue from the Peaceful Streets Project, how they hold some seminars and whatnot. So I think that's going to have to be the next step here. Somebody pointed out in the thread on Facebook that we need to become more like the United Way and less like the Jehovah's Witnesses, We shouldn't be going up to people like, hey, here's some unsolicited material that challenges your current belief. Trash.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, it's kind of funny that you bring that up. So one of the things that I did kind of as as an activist, I went down to the disinauguration with Kokesh, and it was pretty much one of the worst things I've ever done. It was it was horrible. Nobody showed up. It was, it was very confrontational, and the message, it was just hey, look at me, I'm smarter than you are, and everything that you believe is wrong. And I was this did nothing but piss people off. It was almost like it was a big PR stunt, and it just went completely awry.
Right, and maybe we should start looking at ourselves more like the uninvited solicitors, how it's currently happening. And if you think about what you do to an uninvited solicitor, that's exactly what everybody else does to you when you're an uninvited solicitor. So I think there's a valid point on trying to reach out on a more, I don't want to say consensual basis, but you know what I mean, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you get, and I've told people on several occasions, you get more flies with honey than you do vinegar. Why don't you sweeten the deal? What are you going to do to sweeten the deal instead of just get in somebody's face and basically tell them how they're wrong? I've kind of gotten more so to the thing where I'm just asking questions, and they're very pointed and direct, but it's essentially just walking the person to liberty. Well, what do you think about this? Well, what about this? And how about, and you just kind of, it's like a process that you're helping the person through. You can, you can't just make them feel that way. You have to get them to feel that way on their own and get it to be their own idea instead of your own that you're forcing upon them.
Yeah, I think that's what's been helpful, at least with CopBlock, if you're actually out physically doing stuff and you're out dealing with people. When we've been out, we've been handing a lot of literature out, but it's to people who are seeking it. They're asking what we're doing, and we tell them a little bit about, and then like, hey, here's this flyer if you want to read more, blah blah blah. So it's more like a after the conversation has started piece of lit than an unsolicited here you go, just read the flyer type of thing. So we'll see. I got 5,000 new cards coming in specifically for Keen CopBlock, so we're going to be hitting the streets with those on Friday, so it'll be
nice.
Good. That's a crap ton, Eric.
That was very politically correct of you to say.
It was, wasn't it?
It wasn't bad. Or at least I solicited some donations from the various activists around here, and like I put up $50 and Ian put up $50, and then we got a not anonymous to us but anonymous to everybody else the balance of what we needed. So
nice.
That was really nice. So we got enough to buy 5,000 nice 16 paperweight card stock, shiny on both sides, printed really nice. We basically took the original heavy police warning threat brochure off of the CopBlock site, the full color one, and we got a hold of the original file with all the layers. So we switched a couple because two of them were sort of out of order because it said, whatever you do, don't answer questions or talk to the police. And then the one right below it said, ask if you're being detained or are you free to go? So it's like, well, I just told you to shut up, but now I want you to talk. So we switched those around. So the am I being detained is before the don't answer questions part and don't say anything. And we dropped some of the junk on the back, and we adjusted a couple things to be New Hampshire specific because there's a few weird laws in New Hampshire that could get you in trouble. So then we just put Keen CopBlock on it and put a New Hampshire silhouette up there so people wouldn't be confused. So it's pretty cool.
I'll tell you about positive interaction. I got my I Record Cops sweater in the mail the other day, and I've been wearing it every day and every time I go out. And I've had many very positive encounters with people around town, asking me what the shirt's about or just sparking up conversation. It's a great conversation starter. So I was pretty stoked at how much interaction I've actually got out of the sweater already.
Nice, man. I think that we kind of touched base a little bit about 2 weeks ago about how things are kind of starting to pick up. Mm-hmm. And I saw one of my friends who, sometimes you have that friend that's just kind of like the knucklehead that's like always in trouble for something stupid and getting busted. And here comes the Freedom Train. And he actually, there was a problem, and it kind of pops up, and he starts recording, and it's two cops. They're like right in his face, and it was just for like disturbing the peace or disorderly conduct, one of those BS made up terms. And he really asserted himself, and I was actually like really proud of him. Like, dude, I don't want to like speak low of the person, but I was very impressed that he, had the knowledge to, hey man, I should pop up my camera. And really all he was doing was standing outside on his front porch talking on Facebook. And he's like, I wasn't even doing anything. And he asserted his rights. It was like one of those aha moments.
Yeah. Since we started the show and we first, started posting right on CopBlock's Facebook page, it's gone from 48,000 likes to 55 something now, and that's just in 3-4 months or so, which is crazy how fast it's growing, and it's just kind of compounding at this point. So
Freedom Train's coming. Here it comes, boys.
I bet railroad station or subway, Freedom Beef Subway.
Yeah.
Freedom Beef Subway. There you go.
You can get Freedom Beef at Subway. Or the train station. Or railroad.
Somebody's about to get railroaded.
so far, at least in this area, since there's already so many activists, there's not a whole lot of conversation start at this point as far as like what you're wearing. We've found it's mostly what you're doing that has started a lot of conversations. At this point, we're kind of unique in at least Keene that the police are so used to people recording what they're doing. Like, we can stand 10 feet away and they don't even bat an eye. They won't even respond to us or even look at us. So at this point, if you are cop blocking in Keene, you're probably not going to have the aggression of the costume man coming after you for the act of recording. So we haven't had like any of those encounters. So that's kind of unique in this area, at least.
Well, it sounds like your work is done there. Time to move on to another city.
Well, now we need to figure out how to get all these people from getting underage tickets.
Yes.
For alcohol possession. It's freaking ridiculous. So, and that reminds me about that. It's written really weird that the punishment for unlawful possession of alcohol can also inflict a suspension of your license, which really makes no sense. I mean, how does a non-driving violation have any effect on your driver's license? But for some reason, unlawful possession of alcohol does. So I think that's why they churn so many of those cases through, is because they say, well, if you plead guilty, we'll just give you the fine and we'll take the 6 month suspension off the table.
Oh,
so that's how they get them to just churn through. And they say it like if you bring it to trial, you're guaranteed to get the suspension, when that's obviously not the case, because it's just a first offense violation or whatever, and it's unlikely you're actually going to get the suspension anyways. But they say it in such a way that they make it sound like they are going to get the suspension if they don't take the deal.
Wow.
So it's really messed up.
That's like here in Washington, though. If you get pulled over for a DUI and actually get arrested for DUI, whether or not you actually fail a DUI test or a blood test, if you're arrested with the charge of DUI, whether or not it's bullcrap or not, you automatically have 1 year suspension on your driver's license instantly.
Yeah, until you've
gone to court and blah, 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 blah.
And if they're running 6 months behind, well, tough shit.
Yeah, then now you have a 1.5 year suspension.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. I think it's ridiculous. So, like, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? I mean, automatically, as soon as you get arrested for it, you're guilty of that crime.
There was a case here involving Graham having a no trespass order on the town square, and John Myers, who is working pro bono for the Robin Hooders, also stepped in on that particular case and argued that the police and the city manager were taking the role of the judicial branch by imposing a no trespass order without any judicial oversight. You know, he was there skateboarding or whatever, so they issued a no trespass order, but he had no way to contend it. It never went to court. He never got charged with any alleged crime or anything like that, and they just gave him a no trespass. So maybe, I don't know if anybody's been challenging the validity of that, but that sounds like the cops and the legislative branch are doing the judiciary's job for them.
Judge, jury, and cop.
All right, so it looks like we have a caller on Skype, and it's Josie. Josie, you with us? No? Yeah? No? Oh, she has Skype now. She's not on Skype now. Why didn't you tell me that? Man, you guys suck.
I'm horrible with Skype.
You let me go down the road and you don't even stop.
I meant to tell that to the producers.
All right, never mind.
Sorry, dude, it's been a long week, and I'm tired, and I'm horrible with computers.
Oh, good.
And here comes the Freedom Train. All aboard.
Are you in your normal bunker or what?
That's not me. That's the producers, man. My Freedom Train is long gone. I shut the window.
I'm dying over here, you guys. Dying.
Yeah, so earlier we were, before the show, we were talking about what we were going to talk about, kind of prep a little bit. And Eric and Adam are just harassing me unrelentingly because I had my window open. It's a nice night out. I want to enjoy it. And where I live at, there happens to be a train that, it's infrequently, but it goes past. And the Freedom Train was taking all of the people out to the FEMA camps. And they just happened to be passing through my town. I don't think it wasn't affected by the government shutdown, unfortunately.
I heard that parking tickets in D.C. were, though.
Parking tickets are?
No parking enforcement in D.C.
Really? I'm going to go to D.C. Wait, no, I don't go to D.C. Sorry, almost tricked me there.
Yeah, I think there's no parking enforcement in D.C. right now, and all hell is breaking loose. But of course not. No, nothing's happening. It's fine. People know how to park
on the public streets that their taxes pay for.
Right.
All right.
Shit they already own.
Yeah.
Go figure.
I had to come home from work a little bit early today, and it was like. Where I live at, you have to have a permit to park on the street, and I'm just so adamantly opposed to it. And there's been, I wouldn't say altercations, but stern verbiage between some of the people that I know and the guys with the funny badges. And whenever I was leaving my home, I was going back to work, and I saw the parking dickhead. And I guess this isn't G-rated anymore. I saw the parking dickhead driving through, and I followed the guy around. And all that guy does really is just drive around town and look for there's no way that he can generate enough revenue with parking tickets to justify his salary, the vehicle, the gas, the insurance on his job. There's no way it can be justified. It is a net loss. It's
I think
unreal.
most parking's like that. When we first started the show, there was a story from the West Coast that the city installed parking meters with credit card readers, so people were more inclined to actually. They're going to have a credit card on them so they can pay their parking, and they ended up with a budget shortfall of $4.5 million because of all of the actual paid parking spots, and they weren't writing as many tickets. So they came up $4.5 million short in their budget, which is sad. Why are you budgeting for people breaking the law?
Because they suck.
So it's well, of course it's all about money. If you're actually budgeting based on your expectations of how many fines you're going to write, there's something messed up there.
I mean, that kind of goes along. I'm not trying to defend them, but I understand the concepts behind trending analysis and stuff like that. Okay, there's this many people that are gonna, commit this crime.
Right, but to bank on it is another thing. So we have to go to break. but after the break, we are going to go into the story of a cop who got beaten up and bystanders decided to just video record instead of call 911. You're listening to the CopBlock Radio Show on FPRN.
In 1997, a high school shooting was stopped by a vice principal with a gun. In 1998, a middle school shooting was ended by a neighbor with a gun. In 2002, a terrorist attack was stopped by a school guard and a teacher with a gun. After September 11th, pilots began carrying guns to protect their passengers. Let's give our schools and teachers the same option. Sign the petition at defendschools.com.
Hi, I'm Trevor Moore. Due to the recent revelations that in order to fight terrorism, the NSA has been using a secret court order to spy on every single Verizon and AT&T customer, Americans have become outraged and concerned about their rights to privacy. But along with that concern comes a feeling of hopelessness. I mean, what can we do? Vote in new leaders? Well, the problem is that during an election, each candidate pretends to not be an asshole. Then when they get the job, they reveal that they've actually been a complete asshole this entire time. No, elections are of no use. The only way to fight back against our country's excessive wiretapping and data mining is to make it irrelevant. That's why we're launching Operation Everyone Talk Like a Terrorist all the time. If we all openly discuss terrorist plots in each of our phone conversations, then eavesdropping on those phone conversations becomes pointless. It's simple. We just need to work it into our daily vernacular. For example, instead of saying, "I love you," you could describe a terror attack. The larger the scale, the more you love the person.
Hi, Mom. I just got out of school. Can you pick me up?
I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm gonna use a truck bomb to blow up the Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm mailing anthrax to Cures to Morgan.
Or, nonsense about God's will being great could mean affirmative.
Hey man, they have a 7:30 show, and do you think you can make it in time?
God is merciful and his love is unchanging. Did you already get me a ticket?
And those are just a few examples. You can make up your own. Have fun with it. But it's time for us to stand up and protect our rights. Because those assholes aren't going to.
At Damari Nolo Outfitters, we view the outdoors as our home, not a harsh wilderness. Our gear is chosen for adventure, not just in our backyard, but in the vast expanse of our amazing planet. Damari Nolo Outfitters carries the essential gear and tools you will need to live the empowering mindset of self-reliance. Our products are chosen especially for their durability and quality and are carefully tested by our staff and associates. Our promise to you is we never offer any item for sale we don't use ourselves, so we can offer only what we know to be the best. Our online store makes it simple to browse through our high-quality lines of clothing, knives, tools, load carry gear, and accessories. We are committed to offering you the best American-made equipment on the market, a promise you'll see as we continually add new products. For more information about our products and blog posts to help you learn more about self-reliance and equipment, please visit www.damarinolo.com. That's DOMARI-NOLO.com. Damari Nolo, chosen for survival and adventure.
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm Irene.
I'm Lisa.
My name is Tom.
I'm a graphic designer.
College freshman.
Stay-at-home mom with a full-time job.
Scholar on social policy and a barista.
And I'm just like you.
I'm an Obama supporter.
I support President Obama.
But the president needs your help.
Our president can't launch into another war without you. And remember, we promise to support him no matter what.
Together, we can do it.
That's why we here at the Americans for Whatever Barack Obama Wants, Did You Know He's Friends with Jay-Z, have launched a Kickstarter campaign to fund World War III.
And America is dead-ass broke, so our goal is to raise $1.6 trillion on behalf of the U.S. government.
That's where you come in.
Even a small donation would make all the difference.
When I first saw the president speak in 2008, in a YouTube clip posted to my Facebook page, I knew he was going to be right all the time. So I support World War III and IV and any moon war the president may want to start.
I mean, there is no way that he or the cabal of corporate interests, spy agencies, and shadow bankers that tell him what to do would ever mislead us. A $25 donation will get you a piece of rubble from a war-torn Middle Eastern country kissed by Senator Lindsey Graham.
A $100 donation gets you a day pass to leave your local refugee camp.
You'll probably end up in a refugee camp, but it'll have free Wi-Fi.
So please, Help us reach our goal of $1.6 trillion so we can make World War III a reality. Why? Because Obama.
Because Obama.
You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy.
Oh God, please help me. He's got a knife.
You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Stay on the line for the next available emergency operator. You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Please stay on.
911 operator, what's your emergency, please? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Last year in the United States, thousands and thousands of 911 calls went unanswered. And if you call from a cell phone, there's no way to pinpoint where you are. Yet politicians like Dianne Feinstein call for more gun control. We have one question. Why do these politicians have armed bodyguards? Can't they just call 911?
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
First things first. To the death. No. To the pain.
Welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show live on FPRN Radio and syndicated across the interwebs, or you can download us as a podcast after the show. If you go to FPRNradio.com and go to the CopBlock section, then you can see all of our past shows and you can download from there. And also there's a link to the CopBlock.org post that contains all of our show notes. So if there's a story that we talked about and you missed a link, they'll all be right there, so you can go check them out. And there's also information if you want to donate to the show, please. That's all there too. So we have now we have Josie on the line.
You know you are officially a badass when you get your own theme music.
That is amazing, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's my outlaw music.
Thank you, Josie. You are awesome, and we love you.
I love you guys. That's what I'm calling. I think it's awesome. Obviously, I cop blocking is not something that I shy away from. So, in the last couple of days, we've had a lot of activity in that. Well, I mean, there's always, we can't even go out and have a nice night out without seeing something happen that we kind of have to call out. So.
I know those blue lights on the top. It's just like those bug zappers. It's like just attracts. It's like, ooh, blue lights. Let's go check it out.
Oh my gosh, it was the night before last night. We were out for my friend Nick's birthday. And we had just one table with just the greatest minds you can imagine. Like, Fernando. Fernando Salguero.
Yep.
Fernando, Jim Babb, Nick, Diana Smith, just some of the best and most hardcore and fearless activists at one table, just kind of trying to have a good time, which we did. We walk out and we're sitting outside and we see these we see this cop parked with his lights flashing, but in the wrong lane, facing the wrong way. And Babb and Jim Babb, kind of looked at each other, and I was like, I don't think that's illegal. And he said, well, I'll go grab your phone for you. Let's go. So we went over and gave them a hard time. I have to get that video up because that video is just plain funny. I mean, some of the officers, the one officer screams, "Don't talk to my prisoner." Like it was medieval times and he was holding someone hostage. It was really interesting to expose it that way. And Jim Babb is a great guy to go out cop blocking with because he keeps you sane. and he makes it funny while still calling it out. Am I screaming? I don't know how to Skype, so.
I don't know. Are you guys using stockades in Philadelphia again, or just the gallows? What's going on down there?
What do you mean? Oh,
you were talking about my prisoner.
My prisoner, I know. Oh, I can't wait till that one I took on my phone, so it took me more than 24 hours to figure out how to get a Ustream, that live stream, converted to a YouTube video. And that was my first Ustream video and my first YouTube video. And what's
your Ustream account, and where can we find you on YouTube?
Well, okay. This is a temporary account. In about a month, I'm going to have a different one.
They're all talking.
For right now, I think it's Josephine Harris. I posted the video on my Facebook
That was like a
page,
question. Was that an answer? Or I'll ask the questions here.
Sorry. What was the question?
The question is, what was the account?
Oh, Josephine Harris.
There you go.
Yeah,
you were questioning yourself.
I posted it. I posted the video about an hour ago. I finally got it up. So whatever channel that is the channel that is my first video. So I'm like, oh,
don't worry, we'll find it. We'll post it up for you.
Oh, that's awesome. That was interesting. Now this was of an impromptu smoke down, and it was we called it. Not we, I mean, collectively, I think Chris Goldstein came up with the title of Smoke Down to Shut Down. So, a couple of us were joking. I know I was sitting at the lake watching, like, the sunrise, listening to music on my phone, and I was there for a couple hours, and then I started, I'm on Facebook. After a couple hours, you're like, all right, enough lake. So, I was looking, and I saw a funny status, and a couple of us started going back and forth, and we decided, it wasn't even we decided, like the two guys decided, and they're like, you gonna be there? And I'm like, traffic. Yep, I'll be there. So, Mike Salvy's the one who normally live streams, but he was not able to make it, so I was like, someone's gotta live stream this, especially since, and there was just three of us joking on Facebook about it, and then there was a meme, made about it, and that was about 10 a.m. that the meme was put out there saying, hey, we're going to smoke down the shutdown at, same place, same time. Hope to see you there. And then within, I think, 2 hours, they had, U.S. Rangers, DHS, news, the Freedom Cage was back up, bike cops, just the place was swarming.
Was there any fish and wildlife there this time, or no?
No, he was not there.
Oh man, who was gonna catch all the illegal fish?
I don't know. And this is the thing. This time, the fish went rampant. They were the most violent ones there.
I heard they have lasers these days.
Reminds me of Austin Powers.
Exactly.
In any case, so we get there, and we're live streaming on the way there, and I actually left pretty early. I was picking up a couple of the guys, and we're live streaming in the car. So I'm like, we're almost there, guys. Don't worry. You're not going to miss it. So I dropped them off, let them take the phone, just, pulled over, parked, and ran up right as they were like, everyone just looked at all of the law enforcement and said, hey, thanks for showing up. Now we know exactly, what you guys what lengths you'll go to, and how much money you'll waste of the taxpayers, just to come here and harass non-violent pot smokers. So, and then they left like that. All the smokers left, and I'm not necessarily a smoker, but I absolutely support it and I cover it and I do that. So I kind of stuck around and started interviewing them. And they did not like that.
I saw you were, I didn't get to see your video. I kind of lived vicariously through Derek with Peace News Now. And yes, I was watching and I would catch, I'm like, there's Josie. There's Josie. And I could see that you were talking to people who really did not want to be talked to.
Yeah, it was really that. I actually really liked his, even though there was no audio, I really liked his his angle of the video, because the body language and the way and you saw, I don't know, he posted 7 videos, because I was talking to him last night. Derek's a great guy. I mean, just one of the most patient cop blockers you'll ever meet. So
he's so freaking nice. He is so nice. That's
he is, but he's assertive.
That's what makes him so
great.
good, because he's too it's hard to be mean to him.
Yeah. Oh no, you can't be. I mean, I couldn't imagine a reason to be. But even the officers just get annoyed, and he had a really great angle of it, because it was Nick Shanklin. I just said Shanklin. Oh my God, he's one of my best friends. Nick Shanklin was doing the recording, and was a great backup. And hopefully next time we go out, I can hold the camera and he can talk, because he's really good at it as well. But just the way that they retreated, and then they formed this. I mean, there was like, maybe you guys saw, or some of you saw it. There was maybe 12 or 13 of them, and they just kind of surrounded me. And then the bike cops went, and they were just kind of riding around, and the one officer.
Popping wheelies?
Yeah, then the one ranger said, you seem a little frazzled. I said, I actually am very calm, and I haven't stopped smiling since I came over here. He said, but if I look nervous, it's because I'm surrounded by 12 heavily armed men who are known to be violent. So I'm not scared enough to walk away, but I most certainly am a little on edge. So I said I would just, and I'm not trying to start a fight, I'm not trying to start an argument, as I've proven for the last 10 minutes. I just want to know that's my only question, and no one can answer it. What inspired you to be a police officer? I said, once I get someone to answer that question, I promise to leave you alone. No one would. So I just kept going, and I've actually developed a different technique than I used to employ. I think I've just learned along the way how to control my anger, because it's very difficult not to be so just infuriated with the way they treat people. But now I just kind of not pull this thing, I just kind of use, I don't know, I just smile, I introduce myself, and that's how I start. I say, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? Usually they'll just look at me and say, I can't ask, I'm not going to answer any. And then I say, okay, well, maybe, I'm just going to ask them anyway, and then maybe I'll get to one that you just feel compelled to answer, and then that will be great. Otherwise, okay, no problem. I'll just stay here and keep asking. What?
Well played. That's awesome.
Yeah. But I always start, it's the same formula, and it's so incredibly effective in just making them squirm. It's the same, and I want other people to do it. I didn't think about it until this exact moment, but I'd like to put out maybe a YouTube video saying, for those of you who do want to go out cop blocking and who are confronted with this, try it this way maybe, because it's worked for me in the past. But because they just retreat. Because you just get this, it's like an examination of conscience. So I just start with asking them why, what inspired them to be a police officer. They don't ever answer, and then I say, okay, well, maybe. Well, and then I say, is it because you don't know what your answer is, you're not allowed to answer, or you're ashamed of your answer? Because it can only be one of the three. So just any of them. Give me something. And they never have anything to say. And then a lot of times once I get to the question of, I'll say, if I were a 5-year-old kid walking down the street and I tugged on your shirt and said, hey, sir, I want to be a police officer. Why should I be a police officer? Would you answer him? Would you be proud to tell him why you're doing what you're doing? And a lot of times that'll get them, because you look at them and I just kind of say, if I'm very proud of what I do. So if someone were to ask me that question, it wouldn't make me uncomfortable, and it wouldn't make me grit my teeth and walk away and hide. I'd be proud to talk about it. And the one officer yesterday, a bike cop, I was so upset 'cause a lot of the footage got lost, but he looked at me and gritted his teeth, and he said, I'm very proud of what I do. I said, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. You answered a question. Thank you. I said, I just want to reiterate, you just said you're very proud of what you do. He said, yes. I said, okay. Have you ever enforced a law that you didn't agree with? And then he said, well, what does that have to do with anything? There's nothing to do with it, and that's none of your business. I said, it actually has everything to do with it, and it is my business, because I one day could be a victim of you enforcing a law that's unjust, number one. Number two, if you're proud of what you do and you're enforcing laws that you don't agree with, that means every day you're waking up, putting on a uniform, and you're proud to punish and violently assault and kidnap people for doing something that you don't even think they're doing wrong. So then that's frightening. And then he just said, will you please leave? I said, no. But thanks.
Are you going to make me?
Yeah. I try to now keep it really polite, because I found that unnerves them way more than going off the handle. Way more. So, and the one-on-one helps. Like, walking into the group, I mean, it was good. It was interesting to see how, it was nice to have the world see how, not the world, or whoever was watching, or whoever ends up watching, how one chick can scare 12 armed men into just retreating. But it's not, that necessarily is not really effective, because they kind of band together in that way. When you go into it as a group, I had a lot more success at the last Smokedown, which was last weekend, when it was just, there was no camera, nothing. It was just me and one officer. There was a line of 12 Rangers. It was one-on-one, me and someone else, and whoever it was. And it was oddly intense and powerful. And a guy named Jeff, he sent me a couple links to videos, and he just said, he's like, I don't doubt that each officer went home and thought about that. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to change that.
Josie Wales, you are the Bobby Fischer of CopBlock. You are Bobby Fischer.
Yeah, we need like a flow chart of ask this question, and then based on answered or not answered, go to this, and then go to this. That'd be great.
What? I should do that, because, and I'm learning. It didn't just. I don't know if any of you had ever seen the video of me yelling at Councilwoman Maria Quinones from Philadelphia, but I definitely she used eminent domain to steal the land from a lot of poor people. So we went to her home and confronted her face to face. And it was basically a screaming match between me and this woman. She's a Philadelphia councilwoman. And I watch it now, and it was only a couple months ago, but I watch it now and I was like, man, what? Like, I regret it, but I don't, because I really feel like she should feel uncomfortable about what she's doing. And if I were to steal homes from a bunch of people, I would expect to get some kind of rage back. And it's necessary.
Yeah, you should have a picnic in her front yard or something. That'd be awesome. Just have like a kegger in her front yard.
Oh my God, no, sure. Everything's gated. Everything's gated off. She has a garden. It's a really tall fence, and the things that we got her to say though were just intense. She was just like, "I don't need consent. I have power." I was like, you're on camera. Like, you're aware of that, right? And then, I asked her how she sleeps at night, and she said, "Oh, very well, honey. I make a lot of money." I said, "Okay, is that what you sleep on?" I don't know what that means. Like, is it comfy? Is it fluffy money? I don't know. So, and that was actually one of the first times I saw Jim Babb get irritated with her, because she just oozed nastiness, and she leaned down into the daughter's face of one of the men whose home she stole. And she said, "Your daddy is a liar." And that's when I just something snapped to me, and just this ghetto came out of me. I was like,
shit got real.
Like that? What?
Shit got real.
It did get real, and Salvi did. Thank God Salvi did cut a lot of the video out of it, because she shoved me a couple times, which we left that in. But what he kept out was me looking at her nose to nose, and I was like, "Back the fuck up!" And then her husband just pulled her back into the house. And then I just knocked on all of her neighbors' doors and handed out papers explaining what she was doing. I was like, "You could be next, just so you know." So, I have no idea how I'm not in prison. I have no idea.
Eventually, we'll all be there, so it'll be okay.
Yeah, I guess. Well, we'll see. Tomorrow's a pretty big day. We're going pamphleting in D.C.
So that's one thing that we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So you're going there? That's the belly of the beast.
It is, but in a way, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you should never go there." And okay, but if everyone who is aware of what's going on in the world doesn't go, then it's just going to continue. It's the same with Philadelphia. Philadelphia is extremely oppressive with their police state, and I get a lot of, move to New Hampshire, it's so much easier, and it's this and it's that, and you can live free. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But I would actually like to change it here. I don't mind being in the belly of the beast because I can, I'm not saying I'm anything special and I'm brave. It's just that I don't mind it. And I grew up here and I'm learning how to handle it. And I'm sure there's going to come a day where it's not all going to go as planned. But I would 100% rather be fighting on the front lines hard than kind of shying away from it. Someone has to do it. I mean, like, someone has to. If no one does it, it's just going to continue.
Yeah, and I think, like, one of my friends just, he's working on moving to New Hampshire. And I've moved around a lot. I've lived in a few different states. And sometimes there's things that, have nothing to do with, politics that tie you to an area. So why would you just flee that because of, essentially, it's all political reasons?
Yeah, I actually said that to someone earlier, because I have a couple friends all over, the country that you connect with, and especially through these things. And they said, why don't you just come out here and visit for a while? I said I could never, ever I could maybe visit for a weekend or whatever. I said, but I like it here, and I don't necessarily enjoy cop blocking. It's not something that's fun for me. I'm shaking like a leaf when I walk in there, when I walk in there to confront them. But I know it has to be done, and I honestly just kind of hold on for the ride because I don't know. Now I'm getting better, and I'm learning from my own mistakes, and now it's easier for me to do it, but. I know it's not going to go perfectly every time. I'm not going to come out not in handcuffs every time, but I wouldn't be anywhere else. I would never ever would. And I have a lot of family on the police force. And I'm no longer allowed at family events. Not allowed, just not welcome.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about some other things.
Yeah, no, that's not what I mean. No matter what, I would never leave here because I really enjoy it. So, but yeah, yesterday was great. It's so interesting how creative these guys are and talking about it, and it was just they were like, we're just not going to do anything. And I was like, what do you mean? Because this was before, and I'm like, what do you mean you're just not going to do anything? So we're just going to go and wave at them and thank them for their service and leave. We get there and there's NBC, ABC, KYW, all there to report nothing. Which was awesome.
We're here to report that nothing happened and the government spent a whole shit ton of money.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost like Keynesian economics. In case of nothing, break something.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, it's fun sometimes, as long as it's not hurting someone else, because the NAP and all. So, you guys have any questions about it?
What kind of flyers are you guys handing out on
jury nullification?
Okay, so do you know anything about the whole? Was it a Kickstarter or Indiegogo with Jim Babb with the jury nullification? Because I love this shit.
That's what we're going. We're very fortunate to have reached the goal within a couple days of not only one triangular pylon ad, but two.
Nice.
And they're going to be positioned right at the metro, where it leads out right into the U.S. Superior Court, where our dear friend Adam will be tried.
For hurting nobody.
for hurting no one, for being a really peaceful individual. So we're just going to let everyone know that you can cast your vote based on your conscience, even if it goes against the law, and you're actually obligated to do that.
So what website should they go to find out more?
You know what? It's okay. Let's see.
I already posted it in the chat. I can't remember. It's to learn more about it. I know we reached the goal, so I would hold off for right now. But what do you want to learn more about? And I'll tell you.
The Kickstarter.
Okay. You know what? In that case, I would go to Nathan Cox's page, if you can. Because they're still trying to raise some funds. But I know that we met ours.
All right,
like
cool.
Jim met his, so.
All right, well, you have to let us know what happens in D.C.
Absolutely. Wish us luck.
All right. Thanks a lot, Josie.
Thank you. Have a great night, guys.
See you, Josie. Send us your Ustream ad or your Ustream link.
What?
Send us your Ustream link tomorrow whenever you're there, and we'll post it up.
Okay. I'll post it. I'll just post it to your wall too.
Word.
Cool.
All
so,
right.
After the break, we'll be talking about the story that we were going to go to after this break. So stick with us. You're listening to the Copblock Radio Show on FPRN.
Tired of living in a violent society? If every citizen was armed, no one would be dumb enough to shoot people. It's exactly the ethos our founding fathers had when they wrote the Constitution and then changed it, which is what makes it sacred now. Come mingle with safety-minded people like you at the Liberty City Gun Club. Our nation is still the world leader in one thing, armaments. Nothing says excitement like a night out with a small caliber semi-automatic weapon. Get social at the Liberty City Gun Club.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Michael Scheuer, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
In every age, a technology is created that upends the foundations of society. The wheel, the printing press, the internet. Now, in a world sliding into financial chaos, a new technology is changing the way monetary systems work around the world. It is called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a new form of money, controlled not by banks, governments, or corporations, but through mutual commerce between free individuals. To learn more, visit WeUseCoins.com.
You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy.
Oh God, please help me. He's got a knife.
You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Stay on the line for the next available emergency operator. You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Please stay on.
911 operator, what's your emergency, please? Hello? Hello?
Last year in the United States, thousands and thousands of 911 calls went unanswered. And if you call from a cell phone, there's no way to pinpoint where you are. Yet politicians like Dianne Feinstein call for more gun control. We have one question. Why do these politicians have armed bodyguards? Can't they just call 911?
Talk about a wake-up call. I was paying for all the doctor's visits, insurance premiums, and medical costs out of pocket. All these expenses were keeping me from living the carefree lifestyle that I wanted. Then the government told me about Obamacare. Now with Obamacare, I don't worry about my health care. I eat whatever I want, whenever I want. I get all my prescription drugs for free, and there's no more coverage gap. I no longer need to worry about pre-existing conditions. We can see any doctor whenever we want for any reason, and so can everyone else.
Obamacare is not for everyone, like Congressman. If you are already healthy, do not use Obamacare, as you will see your premiums go up. If you are a sick person, do not use Obamacare, as you will see your premiums go up. Many people on Obamacare may experience longer wait times and fewer doctors, and denial of your treatment of choice. If you are faced with a healthcare situation, you may be denied treatment through government rationing.
Obamacare even covers my kids up to age 26.
If you experience a recession lasting more than 4 years, stop taking Obamacare and contact a travel agent to move to the Bahamas or New Zealand.
And the best thing is that Obamacare is free.
Obamacare is not free. Obamacare will increase the national debt by $863 billion in 10 years. Your taxes will go up $569 billion by 2019. If you see a major jump in your premiums, you should opt out of Obamacare immediately. Opting out of Obamacare is illegal and will incur major fines and penalties unless you are a union member who received a special waiver from the Obama administration. Obama is not responsible for the negative effects on the economy, your pocketbook, your freedoms, or your health.
Obama solved all my problems.
Obamacare. Live your carefree lifestyle.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
Welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show on FPRN Radio and syndicated across the interwebs, or you can download us as a podcast. And if you are downloading us as a podcast, just know that we do this show live on Wednesday nights at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And if you do that, then you'll be able to catch us live, so you can call in and join us in the live chat that goes on during the show too. So you can interact with us. It makes the show better. You know, just saying. So before we went to break, actually the previous break, I had talked about a story that we were going to talk about. So if the producers have that queued up, if they can play the audio, that'd be great.
Hello? Hello? What? Is this Stratton Moriarty's? That's it.
Wrong one.
Yeah, this is Sergeant.
The other one.
Strike one.
Sorry.
Strike one. I'll go wing and a miss.
Oh, looks like he's got a commercial he's got to scroll through first. You know, that's the beauty of live radio. Everything goes to hell. It's cool. So this is a story out of, I believe, Philadelphia, where a cop confronted somebody and got his ass beat. And instead of calling 911, bystanders took out their cell phones and started recording the fight. So we'll play it and then get other people's thoughts if you want to call in. Or not.
Oh man.
Live radio at its finest.
Get off your knees, ref. You're blowing the game.
So you can Skype us at FPRN Radio Live, which is the preferred message. Or
Method.
I believe we actually have a real, regular phone number for those who still use
happened
those.
at the Cecil B. Moore Station near Temple University. Stephanie Esposito live at SEPTA headquarters with the story. Stephanie?
Well, what would you guys do if you saw a cop getting beat up? I asked that question to lots of people on the street today. Most of them said that they would pick up their phone and call 911. I couldn't get anyone to admit to me that they would take out their phone to record the fight, but SEPTA police tell me that that is exactly what happened, not once, but twice last week.
And I was horrified, I mean, I'm frightened for my cops.
Chief Thomas Nestel reacting to this video. Watch as the suspect, Ernest Hayes, who police say was avoiding arrest, throws SEPTA police officer Samuel Washington on the ground and pins him under a bench. Police say he was wanted in connection with a SEPTA ticket scam. When Officer Washington stopped him, This is what happened. The chief says not a single SEPTA passenger called for help, but this lady did take out her phone to record the fight.
You know, my immediate thought was shame on you. Why don't you use that phone to call 911?
Were there any 911 calls that you're aware of?
Yeah, I'm aware of none other than the cashier.
The cashier called for help but didn't see the incident until the officer was on the ground kicking the glass. Passengers at the Cecil B. Moore station in North Philly were surprised to hear that no one had stepped in.
I wouldn't have jumped in, but I would have called the police.
I'm shocked.
That's crazy.
Shocked. Because he's a human being, too. Right?
This would be the city of brotherly love, and, like, this going on is, like, crazy.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
This happened not once, but twice last week at the Cecil B. Moore station. Here's video of another crowd of people as two plainclothes SEPTA officers got beat up.
They go out every day and they work really hard and they try to make it safe for people and make people feel safe. But they rely on people to help. And we're not getting that in return. And it's starting to take its toll, and it's really concerning me.
Now, the chief tells me that he's really hoping that people aren't getting involved just because they assume that backup is already on the way. But he says that wasn't the case in these cases, and it's not always the case. As for that officer, Washington, the one who you saw being pinned down underneath the bench, the chief tells me that his back was hurt so badly he's still out of work. Reporting live from SEPTA headquarters, Stephanie Esposito, Fox 29 News.
Stephanie, thank you.
I don't even know what to say to that, because the chief sounds like he's whining a little bit.
Yeah, I have so many opinions on this.
I think we all do.
Scott, why don't you go first?
I still have some looking up stuff to do here. I want to know, police talk about how they put their life on the line every day and their job is so goddamn dangerous. But they're not even, to my knowledge, and I'm looking this up, I don't even think they're in the top 5 most dangerous jobs. 10. Yeah. And according to FBI statistics, you are 8 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than a terrorist. But the other thing that I really keyed in on whenever this police chief is crying and whining because nobody called the police, guess what? We don't have to. We have no obligation to protect you, the same way the Supreme Court has decided that you have no obligation to protect the individual citizens. So you, sir, can go fuck yourself. I'm serious. There's no obligation. It's been decided. There's no obligation of the police officer to protect the individual. I can tell you, if I saw it, I would record it too. I would recall no one. I would probably call my friends.
No,
it's absurd. It's absurd to think that, and I think that it shows nothing but how pathetic America actually is. Let me pull this video out from under my skin.
I know.
End rant.
It's a toughie. It's like, another person's being beaten up, though. Do you deserve it? I don't know.
I have a really hard time feeling bad for this person who makes money by stolen methods and extorts money from people for victimless crimes. And also, SEPTA, go fuck yourself. SEPTA is subsidized in Pennsylvania, and they're talking about, there was actually conversations where they were going to add an additional tax to speeding tickets in Pennsylvania just to make sure that SEPTA did not go out of business. It's pathetic. It's an embarrassment.
That's the subway system?
Yeah, sorry. That's the subway system in Philadelphia that's failing like everything else. Philadelphia is an abomination.
I mean, but you think about it. I mean, the way I look at it is we've seen so many in the last year or two, so many videos come out of the police beating the crap out of people. And that when you finally see a person beating the crap out of a cop, are you really going to want to help the cop? I mean, you're kind of like, oh, about frickin' time somebody fights back. I mean, really, that's be more or less my opinion on it. I'd be like, I ain't gonna help him.
Yeah, I don't want to get dragged into that crap. That's just asking for trouble, inserting yourself into the situation. It's like,
right.
No, because then you're going to come question me and try to find something to arrest me for, because that's what you do. I'm very unlikely to call the police for quite a lot of things at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's been things that have happened, to myself, my family, our property, where we chose not to involve the police, not because we, didn't care, but because we knew it wasn't the right thing to do, because all they would do is come and, try to place blame on people that had nothing to do with it, and come over there and get their nose involved in things it doesn't need to be involved in.
Right, it's like if your house...
Where's the damn freedom train?
Unless your house has... or like if your house got broken into and there was something unique and of value that they might actually be able to recover, which is usually unlikely, then maybe. But if it's unlikely that they're going to recover your TV or anything like that, and all that's going to come out of it is your house is now going to be published that it got broken into, and you're going to have all these solicitors coming to try to sell you a security system and all this bullcrap. It's such a hassle. It's the worst thing.
It is, yeah. But no, so we want to hear your guys' opinions on this. As you guys call the show, 567-314-9296, and then the passcode's #1234, or Skype in at FPRN Radio Live. Send a contact request. Producers at your back. You guys can share your opinion on this topic right now.
I think Adam's already slightly stoned.
What? Stoned?
What?
I think it's your mic, dude.
Wait, what?
I think it's the mic.
Yeah, that's my crappy mic for the show, because I had to resort to my crappy mic.
Oh, you have a backup mic?
Yep.
Nobody likes a bragger.
Not a good backup mic, though.
No, it's a horrible backup mic. I'm on a different computer, so the computer itself doesn't have a mic on it, so I'm using a crappy one.
So, I guess while we're waiting on anybody else's input on that, did you see the very long post that Adam Kokesh is no longer a customer of Shield Mutual?
I did.
Are we going to talk about the most dramatic thing to happen in the Liberty Movement in the past 3 months?
Wait, what?
I said, are we going to talk about the most dramatic, dramatized thing to happen in the past 3 months?
Sure, why not?
Well, you started it, not me.
Oh, I don't know. I just thought it's really messed up that it sounds like he's getting screwed over every which way by the people that were supposed to handle his situation while he was in jail. And if you go to Shield Mutual, I'm sure it's right on the front page, but it's an extremely lengthy write-up about why he's no longer. Yeah, it's the first thing on the page. But I don't even know what to bring up about this. That it seems like Adam's team really dropped the ball or totally screwed him either way.
Yeah, one thing that, I see in the whole thing, because I paid a lot of attention to it, and I'm not going to say that I called it. I think that it was, Adam obviously is in jail. He's in a cage for BS. But I think that it's really important that everybody understands that to speak out or to actively go against the establishment or the assholes, whatever you want to call them, there are going to be times where people are going to present themselves in one manner that's not honest. And I think it's really important that you actually keep a close-knit group of friends that you can actually trust and know. And I think that there's a lot of people out there, especially with the internet. Like, I get friend requests from people that I don't know, and it's BS. And I'm like, I'm not going to be your friend. I don't know you. If I don't know you, there better be somebody I do know that vouches for you, and we better know each other pretty well. And I think that sometimes that there's even if it's no fault of that own person, there's people out there who are not, just because everybody smiles at your face doesn't mean they're your friend. I think that's one thing that you have to keep in mind is sometimes people are trying to fuck you, and not in a good way. And I think that really Adam got fucked, and I think he's going to continue to get fucked.
Yeah, I think the whole situation with Adam was not well planned. I don't think he had a very good plan going into it to be able to deal with being locked up for an extended amount of time. I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, civil disobedience can be effective, but if you're doing it by yourself and you're facing high-level felonies, then you might want to rethink your strategy a little bit, because you are going to get totally screwed. And I don't think there's any way that Adam's getting out of this with much of a clean image at that point.
No, I think that he's like has positioned himself to be the sacrificial lamb, because it's something either he knowingly participated in, or he feels so strongly that in the end, which could be sooner than later, it's not going to matter. So you know what I mean? Like, Adam is real big on abolition of the federal government, which I'm not saying I'm opposed to, because I haven't seen anything good come out of it. But I'm saying that he thinks that it's so soon that it doesn't matter if he's a convicted felon, because it's going to be null and void in the near future whenever it's abolished.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. All he's trying to do is bring upon awareness to other people.
Yeah, but unfortunately, if he's in a cage, he's not doing a whole lot of that anymore. I mean, since he got locked up, I stopped paying attention. Like, I stopped listening to the podcast or even staying up to date on what's going on. I only saw this because Shield Mutual posted it. I didn't see it because it came from the Adam Kokesh page or something like that. I just kind of stopped paying attention because he's out of sight, out of mind at this point. At least he is for me.
Yeah, he just kind of, slowly slipped away. And I don't want to say slowly, it was vocal. I mean, everybody knew about what was going on July 4th, and everybody kind of knew about the raid. But then, it was just like, it was chaos once he went to a cage. And now it's nothing. It's infighting and not helping Adam. It's almost like if you would think of Adam as a drug addict, like what's the best thing that's going to help Adam? What's going to help him? Nobody's actually doing what's going to help him. Everybody's fighting about what they think, but nobody's doing anything positive. And I don't want to say nobody, because now you have someone like Jim Babb, who is trying to do what he believes is the right thing with the jury nullification, just information. He's doing that on his own because he cares.
Right, and I think it's probably more effective to start at that angle than try to sacrifice yourself in this manner. I just don't see the point on Adam doing this, because it died so fast. Like nobody's talking. The only people who are talking about it is a small, quiet, not very loud hunk of media, which would be like us. Nobody who has a loud voice is saying a whole lot about Adam. I haven't heard it anywhere. And the only reason that I know what's going on currently is because Shield Mutual posted something, not that he popped up in the news or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just... oh, man. It's fucked. The whole thing is just... It sucks. I don't think that Adam's doing a good job by being in there, but I think that you have to kind of understand, well, that's where he's at. What are you going to do next to get him back?
Right. Yeah, I think that's basically all that can be done at this point. There's no leverage to be gained by him being put away. All up into it sounded like, or I think Adam felt like he had more support than he actually did or does, because he was all raw going into it, and it fizzled so fast. I don't know if Adam was aware of how little support he actually had going in.
Yeah, I think he thought he had better prepared himself to remain active outside the system.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he had 1 million followers or something. I mean, he's pretty low level comparatively. So if you take out, if he had 50,000 people who followed him on Facebook, take out 90% of them who actually follow, and then take out another 90% of them who care about what he's talking about, and then take out the other 90% of them that's left over, who will continue to support him afterwards. It's a small fraction of what he would actually need, and unfortunately, he didn't have nearly enough support.
Oh, dude, I can tell you firsthand that the support that Adam gets, and this goes for people in general. I've been part of some activism where it was like, oh, there's going to be 900 people there, and I used the number 900 for a reason, because everybody was all on board, and there was 900 people who were going to show up, and this and that, and there were 6 people who stood there and had the balls to actually say something and do something about it, and there were 900 people who said they were going to be there. People are cowards. People want to have their names seen as someone who's going to do something, but nobody actually has the balls to do it. And I think that you figure out that... What's that?
Just people are cowards. I agree with you.
People are. And I think that whenever you figure that out, and that was one thing I was just like, whoa, well, hello, where's everybody at?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is going down. We're doing shit. But I think that Adam kind of got left. He fell victim to his own, I don't want to say popularity, but it fizzled out because he didn't have the support group that was there, that he thought was there, that he thought was there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to feel the odd insulation, because now pretty much all my friends that I have that I see day to day are all activists. So it feels like, for some reason, everybody in my world is an activist and whatnot. So, but then once you break it out and realize that you're all the people you're friends with are the only activists in the area, then you're like, oh crap. My little group of friends are the only people who think like this. So I got a problem. So did Adam insulate himself with so many activist friends? He thought that there were way more people out there than there really were because he didn't see the outside?
Well, I can tell you that I would rather have 10 friends who are 100% behind me than 100 friends who are 10% behind me.
Right.
I'll take 10 of them any freaking day of the week, man. And I think that whenever you get into something that not everybody is accustomed to, and you're thinking outside the box, and you're seeing something that's not been pounded into someone's brain for 12 years, maybe 14 or 16 or 18 years, that you're going to have a smaller group of more dedicated friends.
There we go. We can just go straight into break. So you're listening to the CopBlock Radio Show. There's more after the break. You're listening to the CopBlock Radio Show on FPRN.
Walk amongst the crowds, searching for...
Tired of living in a violent society? If every citizen was armed, no one would be dumb enough to shoot people. It's exactly the ethos our founding fathers had when they wrote the Constitution and then changed it, which is what makes it sacred now. Come mingle with safety-minded people like you at the Liberty City Gun Club. Our nation is still the world leader in one thing: armaments. Nothing says excitement like a night out with a small caliber semi-automatic weapon. Get social at the Liberty City Gun Club.
Well, yeah, it's getting tough out there. Yeah, no doubt. I work in home invasions, mostly. Some murder, occasional rape, if she's hot, or really bitchy. And I'm a huge advocate of gun control, absolutely. Every time I kick in a door or smash a window, I face the possibility of being shot and killed. Allowing citizens to own guns creates a hostile work environment for me and my associates. No one should have to work under those conditions. I say make them all illegal, absolutely. I mean, I break the law for a living. I'm a professional, so it doesn't really bother me. No doubt. No doubt.
Your local violent criminals work hard and put their lives on the line every time they attempt to murder, rape, abduct, or assault a member of the citizenry. They desperately need your help. With your support, there may finally come a day when a violent criminal can have his way with you or someone you love without the fear, anxiety, and stress caused by knowing there's a possibility his victim might be armed. Please show your support by voting for stronger anti-gun legislation, because criminals prefer unarmed citizens.
In every age, a technology is created that upends the foundations of society. The wheel, the printing press, the internet. Now, in a world sliding into financial chaos, a new technology is changing the way monetary systems work around the world. It is called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a new form of money, controlled not by banks, governments, or corporations, but through mutual commerce between free individuals. To learn more, visit weusecoins.com.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
To think something so small could control you.
And everything you do.
When your life and all you love
are on the line.
The RFID chip is always with you, threatening your privacy, causing severe risk to your health and personal safety, and killing you if you do not obey rogue government demands.
Because I want to increase my risk of cancer.
Because I want to live in a cash-free society.
Because now, the government is looking out for us.
Because I have the mark of the beast, but it doesn't have me.
Ask your doctor how to get your chip implanted today.
Because we want to track your every move.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.
Now, you've seen where we were, you've seen where we are, and the obvious question is, how do we get back to the sound principles that we had for generations in America?
This is the foundation, the groundbreaking. The founding fathers created our great nation. The birth of the USA, greatest nation.
And welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show on FPRN and syndicated across the interwebs. You can download the show at FPRNradio.com if you missed it, or if you want to go back to some of the older shows, they are all there for you to download for free. So go ahead and go over there to FPRNradio.com, and then you go to the CopBlock section, and you can see them all right there. So we have Chris on the line. Chris, hey, what do you want to talk about?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, no, I'm actually pretty new to all this, and I met a few of you guys back in August at the Austin Peaceful Street Summit, and so I'm an older guy, a little new to the game, but in the fight with you. So, you know, I guess for us, it was an awakening. You know, being accused of a crime and then refusing to take a plea deal and then going to trial and being found not guilty, 100% exonerated, and then during that process having police audio and video of them planting evidence was a bit of an you know, an awakening for us. So we're pretty new to this, but I don't know. I dialed in tonight because the topic was about the Philly cop, you know, who was getting his ass kicked, and no one really called in or dialed 911 and that sort of thing. And then, you know, there's the uproar of the captain, you know, well, we can't believe the public wouldn't call in or get involved. I don't know, man. This is all new to me, but I got to be honest. I wouldn't call or help or intervene at all either. I mean, I just wouldn't. So, my deal is that I have an audio and video of 4 Frisco, Texas police officers discussing and planting evidence against me, and not one of them had the wherewithal to go, hey, what we're doing is wrong here. You know what I mean? So I'm a little bit. I'm not one of these that I hate the whole violence thing. I'm not out to let's all kill cops. I hate all that. I have a Facebook page and people get on there and try to portray that. That's not what it's about. But man, I've yet to meet an honest, good cop, frankly. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's hard to find a lot of them, and the ones who do speak up get weeded out pretty quick, unfortunately. It seems that they're the first ones to get fired.
Well, yeah, but here's the deal, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm of the approach that if, you know, and we myself and another friend of mine, he's out of Port Aransas. He's actually a retired cop, and he has a lot of dirt on a lot of people. He's a good friend of mine, but I don't know, man. I've learned a lot from him. He's under the impression that there isn't any, and based on this one definition, here's my definition of a good cop. So if someone says they're a good cop, okay, All right, good. Then I have a question for you. Have you ever seen a peer of yours or a colleague of yours do something wrong or illegal? I wait for that answer. The odds are it's going to be yes. And then my next question is, what did you do about it? And if the answer is nothing, or I kept my mouth shut, then guess what? That makes you a bad cop. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, man.
I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, so.
Do you have anything else for us?
Nope, just wanted to call in. Big fan of you guys. Love Pete and Jacob, and they're coming out to Colorado. We're have a brother that's getting them on the radio, and a big fan, and anything I can do to help you guys, just let us know. So
nice, yeah. We haven't got an update from Pete on his tour, unfortunately. So we've been 2 weeks without an update. I think I'm gonna have to go bug Pete after this to.
Yeah, you better bug him. Yeah, you better. All right, man. Take care, guys.
Right.
Appreciate
Thank
everything
you,
do, man. All right, man. All right, bye.
So, do you guys have anything you want to talk about tonight before we wrap it up? I hear typing.
Sorry, that's me.
Yeah, that's Adam. He's
Sorry, I got my keyboard too close to the mic. I really moved away. Sorry.
Bad mic, typing too much. Adam, this is going on your review, dude.
Is it? Yeah. Still trying to get my new place all set up, so shit just isn't right yet.
I mean, this is episode 25. We're almost to the mid-year.
I know. Didn't help I just moved, though, so I don't know where everything's at still. And I'm missing one of my couches still, so I'm sitting on the floor. So this is how dedicated I am. I'm willing to sit on the floor to do the show.
So did you guys see there is a New Mexico police chief or former police chief who collected more than $2,000 a month from the Juarez cartel to provide protection to smuggle guns and drugs through the border?
Without the government, how would all the potheads get their weed?
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez.
Yeah, they do.
It's got to
like
come
me.
from somewhere. We can't grow all that shit in America.
I do.
Some of us can.
So it says Blas Gutierrez, formerly of Columbus Village, told the federal court that police chief Angelo Vega also received $1,500 each time he allowed cartel members to use village vehicles, including police cars. So this guy was allowing the cartel to use the town's police cars to smuggle guns and drugs. Nice.
Perfect cover.
No kidding. Jeez.
That's like in the movies shit.
I'm just not surprised anymore. Like,
I know, right?
It doesn't.
Like, okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
It doesn't really boggle the mind anymore at all. Does
I mean, it's not fine, but I understand.
It was funny. One of the mayor said he was surprised. It surprises me it's so low. I would have guessed that you got paid at least $10,000 a month for cartel payments.
He's not very good at bargaining.
I know,
No
right?
lie.
Jeez. Yeah, at least take a bigger chunk.
How much were they moving?
That's nothing.
I know.
Like, does it say how much they were moving?
I don't know. Is the Juarez cartel? I'm sure a lot.
Yeah, I would have wanted a lot more than that then.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, right?
Hey, man, he's got a lot of people to pay off, and they're working on government salary.
Yeah, I guess.
Much anyway.
He also he said that he could make a case go away for $20,000 as well. Man, this was one corrupt police chief.
Really? You just pay him $20,000 and he drops your case?
Yeah.
Lost the evidence. Like, what the hell? $20,000? What a
Sounds like something they do for free all the time, though.
That guy's pathetic.
They lose evidence all the time. Evidence that helps keep you free.
So yeah, I guess he there's a whole big trial going on, and I'll post a link to it. It's like you said, it's not exactly surprising. It shouldn't surprise anybody. But
you have it right now.
Interesting.
Throw it up in the chat, or put it up in the Skype chat, and I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put it out. I got it.
Or is it on the Facebook?
I got it. I put it out on the chat. Oh. That's good. We're good. But yeah, so yeah, what's up with Pete not sending us updates? That kind of sucks.
I don't know. He emailed me last week and said he basically like admitted to failing, the fact that they were failing to send us updates, and he was all apologetic about it and said that they weren't going to bother us anymore because they kept screwing it all up. So I was very confused and not sure what to say all at the same time. Like, do I tell him no, don't worry about it, keep sending us, or okay, if that's what you want to do? I wasn't sure what to say.
Yeah, I guess don't. If you can't make it, it's not a big deal. But
if
you can make it, send it.
Yeah, if you made the video or the audio clip right on, send it to us. We'll play it. If not, all good.
It's not like we're dying for content here. I mean,
No.
We have like 10 stories in the show prep that we could friggin' go over if we wanted to. But you know,
yeah.
We only have so much time. And it was nice having Josie on tonight because the Panic Hour false flag is just hilarious.
The Panic Hour false flag is pretty much the greatest false flag of this century.
Good thing it's only 13 years old.
But we've had several. Adam.
What?
We've had several incidents of concern, but
which instances?
ID plead the fifth.
We're concerned about what I'm totally lost on the subject we're on here.
What's that? Oh, we were talking about false flags.
Oh, okay, yes. No, we got in the chat. Dio wants to know who's Dick of the Week.
I thought there was like 25 to 30 of them over at the Liberty Memorial or the Liberty Monument in frickin' Philadelphia. Whenever 43% of the federal government was shut down, and they have 25 to 30 Dick of the Weeks over there.
Yeah, I was reading up a whole bunch of stuff on that.
They made no arrests. There was no one to arrest. Nothing. They got nobody. Steve Miller was in like downward dog for an hour.
Yeah, I don't think that was really covered on what actually happened. They just kind of So it sounds like they tried to they were putting together Smoke Down again in Philly, and they announced it all out. So a ton of law enforcement showed up, but when the activists got there, they did nothing. Instead of doing the usual smoking of illicit plant material, they just kind of showed up and did nothing to warrant the police being there at all, and they just left. So it sounds like they trolled the police into coming out to Liberty, or whatever that is. That Liberty Square? What was that? Where did this take place? I don't know.
The Philly one? Or no,
Scott, you live there.
Yeah, Scott, where you at?
Researching, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was distracted.
Is it Liberty Square that's there? So
I don't know. It's in Philly. I don't go there.
All right.
You can't carry a gun in Philly under your shirt because, well, they say you can't. I mean, people do.
They say you can't.
I mean, people do. I'm just saying. People do that, but I don't go to Philly.
So anyways, they trolled all these cops to show up, and they basically caused no ruckus at all and just left. So they pretty much just lured out all the cops. So that was pretty funny.
It was almost like, who's that real shitty actor? Ashton Kutcher. They got punked. They got punked by the Panic Hour. So they didn't talk about she talked about the meme that went out. So, I mean, some of us are of the Simpsons generation, and they had a picture, it was Nelson and all of, like, the park rangers, and he was just saying, ha ha.
What
else do we have?
Control the police. I'd have to put that up on the top list of
They
cool things.
They trolled the friggin' federal government, the police. There was some serious trolling going on.
That's awesome.
So, in the police shoot the victim news, I guess you could say.
Be a little bit more specific, please.
Yeah.
Can you narrow it down just a little bit?
Yep. There's a
us a
Texas
time
homeowner who was shot dead by the police after he had shot and killed a criminal who broke into his home last Thursday. And this is actually up to date because it was published yesterday. There's reports that the police did not realize that the 57-year-old man was defending his home when they arrived, and that he ignored repeated demands to drop his weapon. He pointed the pistol at police officers and witnesses on scene, and they shot back. So, that seems like a bad idea to point your weapon at police officers anyways. So I don't know how straight he was thinking on that one. But he killed the bad guy.
He killed the bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good part about it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, both him and the criminal ended up dying in the house, but he died because the police shot him, not realizing that he was trying to defend his home from somebody who had already intruded on him, which is not cool.
Fucking police. Speaking of that, I had an incident this last weekend. I was downtown Spokane working, and an officer decided he wanted to cross an intersection, of course with his flashy lights, during the red light, pull through the intersection the wrong direction, and then park in the middle of the road facing the wrong direction to yell at a guy for crossing the crosswalk while it was flashing to not walk. It was really lame. And I got a couple pictures of it. I was working, so I really couldn't stop and record, but I got a couple shots of him sitting in the wrong direction in the middle of the street, harassing the guy. So it was pretty ridiculous. I didn't understand why he needed to block the road and yet face the wrong way in oncoming traffic just so he could get out of his car, leave his car in the middle of the street, and yell at a guy for crossing the street improperly. And then didn't even give the guy a ticket. He just wanted to yell at him and then leave.
Apparently, geez. Improper parking job to yell at somebody for improper
walking.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty asinine. I wish I could have got video, but I was on the job, couldn't do it. So, well, at least he didn't get arrested or ticketed. I mean, at least they didn't find him or anything or try to steal money from him. So that was the good part, but it was just ridiculous of the fact of how he did it.
Man, I've been working hard these past few weeks to try to get pictures of everybody on the Keene Police Department, but unfortunately, I'm only out on Friday nights to try to get pictures, and I already got that crew, and I was out today because I had my arraignment, so I had the whole day off, so I was hanging out downtown, and of course, all the calls were way away from downtown, so I couldn't get down there in time to do any cop blocking during the day, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I might try this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. Damn, having a regular 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, 9-to-5 suck.
Work ruins everything important.
It does. I feel like I can't get enough done for activism because I'm stuck behind a computer in my office every day until 5. It's like all the good stuff happens during the day, and I can't be there for it.
That's what it always seems like, doesn't it?
I know. I'm gonna have to better utilize my vacation days next year, and actually take days off when people are in court and whatnot. I would have liked to be at the Robin Hood trial this week, but unfortunately, I didn't think about taking the days off ahead of time, which I should have done. But whatever. I'm glad that Daryl Perry. He was a tweet machine that day, or those 2 days. He was like spitting one out every like 2-3 minutes. So he was giving good live updates from the courtroom on the trial, and the hotshot lawyers that the city have hired are very not hotshot, and they're really bad. And they were really flustered at dealing with some of the activists when they were on the stand and dealing with some of the answers that they gave. It's like they're trying to bait them. All the questions they asked is trying to bait them into a specific answer that they're looking for, and the activists would throw an answer from left field at them, and they would totally freak out and not know. And then they'd repeat themselves, ask the same question again, and they'd get the same answer again. So it's pretty funny. And essentially, the attorneys threatened that if the judge ruled against the city, that they guaranteed that they were going to be appealing the same day. Like, they were going to file an appeal immediately. So it's like, so it really doesn't matter what the outcome is, because it's getting appealed either way. So I don't know. It's really messed up.
Oh,
if I don't get what I want, I'm going to take my toys and go home.
Right, exactly. No, yeah, I'm gonna bring more toys and go to a different house. That's what, and hope, or well, if mommy says no, I'm gonna go ask daddy. I think that's
my dad can beat up your dad.
Right.
You guys know that shit used to happen. My dad could beat up your dad.
So we'll see. The judge has given till the 9th to enter additional memorandums of law, and then he will decide after that, but there's no timetable on a decision, and the Robin Hooders are still out there doing what they do every day, and it's unlikely to stop. And even if the city does get their way, it only applies to the 6 people who were named, and really only 2 of them Robin Hood on a consistent basis. So I think there's a bunch that have not been named. So they would have to bring an additional suit, which would be odd. They really had no evidence at all. So
which would be another waste of taxpayers' money.
Right. Now they're suing, even though this case isn't even over, they've issued another lawsuit seeking monetary damages. So this case isn't even over, and they've already entered another lawsuit against the same 6 people using the same arguments over again. So it's like, well, if this first one gets shot down, the second one's dead in the water, because it's the same thing over again. And the hotshot lawyers are like, yeah, well, a jury's going to find differently. It's like, well, you've got a pretty tainted jury pool. I doubt it's going to stay in the. I don't know why they would keep it here, because they're just trying to taint the jury pool to begin with, and with biases. So we'll see.
Well, I just put up those pictures of the cop blocking the street. So you guys can check those out on the Facebook page. I put a link in the chat there.
Nice. But yeah, there's one other thing I wanted to say about that, but I can't remember now. Goddamn.
You can't remember now?
Nope.
All right. Well, you tried.
Yeah. Nope. Still not coming. I don't know. It's been a long day. Friggin', They tell me to be there at 8 o'clock and they don't get to me until noon. It's like, you bastards. You just leave me at the end. I was like the third to last person to get arraigned. Could have been a coincidence, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, that's all the show we have for tonight. Be sure to tune in Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern at FPRNradio.com, and you can listen to us live. And until next week, remember that badges don't grant extra rights.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.